Good evening. Welcome to the Cranston City Council's regularly scheduled meeting for May. Today is Tuesday, May 27th. I almost said Monday, which is our usual day, but for the holiday, it's a Tuesday this evening. At this time, if the clerk can please take the roll.
Councilman Campopiano,
Present.
Councilman Plano,
Here.
Councilwoman Graziano, Councilwoman Haroyan,
Present.
Councilman Andujar,
Present.
Councilman Ritz,
Present.
Councilman Trafficante,
Present.
Council Vice President Wall,
Here.
Council President Marino.
Present. And just for the record, we wish Councilwoman Graziano well. She was under the weather, which is why she's not here this evening. Next, please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. We have approval of minutes. I will entertain a motion to take the approval of minutes as a block.
Motion to take the approval of minutes as a block.
Second.
Any discussion? There being none, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Campopiano,
Yes.
Councilman Bonanno, Councilwoman Haroyan, Councilman Andujar,
Yes.
Councilman Ritz,
Yes.
Councilman Trafficante,
Yes.
Council Vice President Wall,
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes. Next, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes as a block.
Motion to approve the minutes in the block.
Second.
Any discussion? There being none, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Campopiano,
Yes.
Councilman Bonanno,
Yes.
Councilwoman Haroyan, Councilman Andujar,
Yes.
Councilman Ritz,
Yes.
Councilman Trafficante,
Yes.
Council Vice President Wall,
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes. Next, we have public hearings and public comment on docketed items. If there's anyone in chambers or on Zoom who wishes to be heard on any docketed matters this evening, please state your name and address for the record, and please keep your comments limited to 4 minutes. We will begin with in chambers. I don't see anyone that wishes to be heard in chambers. Tom, is there anyone on Zoom?
There is no public comment online.
Public comment on docketed matters is now closed. Moving on to resolutions. First up, we have a resolution in recognition of the month of June as Pride Month, sponsored by Councilwoman Haroyan, Councilwoman Graziano, and myself. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion from council members? Councilman Buonanno.
I'd like to be added as a co-sponsor. And I just would like to say that, some folks nationally from my party have issues with some of these months. And, I would just like to go on record as saying that I think that these are a great thing. I think that people being proud of who they are and what they represent as individuals is the basis of American freedom. As we cannot come out of the Memorial Day weekend, I think it's very important to recognize that whether it's Pride Month, last month, I believe, was Armenian Heritage and Women's Month, and so on and so forth. I think it's very important to recognize this and allow people to be who they want to be and be who they are without facing any repercussions. So I wholeheartedly endorse and support this and would like to be added as a co-sponsor.
Councilman Wall? Council Vice President Wall, excuse me.
I too would like to be added as a co-sponsor, and I echo my colleague's sentiments.
Thank you.
Madam
Councilman
President, I
Andujar?
would like to be added, please.
Councilman Ritz?
Also, please.
Mayor Trafficante?
I'd like to be added as well.
Okay. Councilman Campiano? Okay, and Councilwoman Haroyan?
I would just like to invite everyone know that on Monday, June 9th at 5:30 will be the annual Pride flag raising. And I hope that everyone can attend this.
Thank you, Councilwoman Haroyan, for your sponsorship as well of the resolution. Thank you for everyone for joining in on that. And yes, we hope that everybody can join us on Monday night's, I believe, 7th annual maybe event. Okay, yep, at 5:30. And at this time, if the clerk can please take the roll.
Councilman Campopiano,
Yes.
Councilman Bonanno,
Yes.
Councilwoman Haroyan, Councilman Andujar,
Yes.
Councilman Ritz,
Yes.
Councilman Trafficante, Council Vice President Wall,
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes. Moving on to reports of committees. First up, Council Vice President Wall, reporting out of Claims Committee.
Thank you, Madam President. The Claims Committee did in fact meet on May the 5th. The claims packet, the paid claims packet, report is in your packets, and I have nothing further to report at this time.
Thank you. Moving on to Councilwoman Haroyan, reporting out as Chair of Safety Services and Licenses Committee.
We do have a new BV license tonight. It is over cap and requires full council approval. Elquis Restaurant and Lounge LLC located at 355 Dyer Avenue. And the hours are Tuesday through Sunday, 11 a.m. to 1 a.m.
Do we have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion from council members? There being none, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Campopiano,
Yes.
Councilman Bonanno,
Yes.
Councilwoman Horoyan,
Yes.
Councilman Andujar,
Yes.
Councilman Ritz,
Yes.
Councilman Trafficante,
yes,
Council Vice President Wall,
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes. Next, we have Council Vice President Wall as Chair of Finance Committee.
Thank you, Madam President. We did in fact meet on May the 5th. Finance Committee did, and there is nothing further to report at this time.
Thank you. And then we have Councilwoman Graziano as Chair of Public Works. Again, she's out and there is nothing to report coming out of that committee. Moving on to Ordinance Committee, Councilman Andahar.
Thank you, Madam President. The Ordinance Committee met on May 15th. We have 3 resolutions. The first one would be school transportation resolution for out-of-district homeless and private school students. Looking for a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any
Clerk, please take-
discussion from council members? Council Vice President Wall.
Just, I'd like to be added as a co-sponsor.
Okay. Anyone else?
I'd like to be added.
Okay, Council Vice President Wall, Councilwoman Haroyan, Councilman Ritz, Councilman Andahar. Okay. All right. And at this time, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Campopiano,
Yes.
Councilman Bonanno,
Yes.
Councilwoman Horoyan, Councilman Andujar,
Yes.
Councilman Ritz,
Yes.
Councilman Trafficante, Council Vice President Wall,
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes.
Madam Council President.
Yes.
I raised my hand, and probably you didn't see me, but just wanted to make a quick comment. In all fairness to the state of Rhode Island, the city of Cranston, I should say, the school department gets reimbursed approximately $800,000 each year from the state of Rhode Island for out-of-district transportation. However, it costs them an additional $300,000 for that transportation. They do not get full reimbursement.
Thank you. I apologize. I didn't see your hand. Thank you. Yep. Councilman Andahar.
Next up, we have a resolution, school transportation resolution. School transportation resolution in support of House Bill 5420 and Senate Bill 636 and Senate Bill 397. I urge passage.
Motion to approve.
Any discussion from council members? Council Vice President Wall.
Once again, I'd like to be added as a co-sponsor.
I'd like to be added as a co-sponsor as well. Councilwoman Haroyan wants to be added. Councilman Andahar would like to be added. Councilman Ritz would like to be added. All right. All right. Anyone else wish to be heard or added? Okay, Councilman Campopiano added as a co-sponsor. Okay. All right. That's it for the discussion. Tracy, if you can please take the roll.
Councilman Campopiano,
Yes.
Councilman Bonanno,
Yes.
Councilman Andujar.
Yes.
Councilman Ritz,
Yes.
Councilman Trafficante,
Yes,
Council Vice President Wall,
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Next up, we have a resolution, public schools fair funding formula. I urge passage.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion from council members? Councilwoman Haroyan. you'd like-
I would like to,
Okay. Councilman Andahar, Council Vice President Wall. Okay. Councilman Ritz. Councilman Bonanno.
I just, I think I can read tea leaves here. It doesn't take much political acumen to see what's going to happen in a minute, but I do just want to mention how important this is to Cranston schools for the record. The reason and the thrust behind this is, in tandem with the school department, specifically the CFO, Joe Balducci. We wrote this ordinance for your consideration. And it is very important to mention that, the fair funding formula as it is written would benefit Cranston in the amount of almost $800,000. And for lack of a better term, but the adjustment to it sort of on a whim by the executive branch of our state has created a net loss for Cranston. That's why I feel like this is very, very important. The fair funding formula was written, so we have fair funding for everybody. It's not supposed to be adjusted willy-nilly. So this is only asking that it goes back to the way it was before it was sort of arbitrarily adjusted by certain individuals. So none of which, are in Cranston. So this is very important to our school system to try to close that gap. We did our part. Now it's time for the state to do theirs. Thank you.
Thank you. In committee, I know Mayor Trafficante had mentioned as well the increased funding coming from the state through this legislative session and was appreciative of that and expressed that appreciation to the state. And I'd like to echo that sentiment this evening as well. We appreciate the leadership at the General Assembly, and we look forward to that additional support for our public schools. At this time, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Campopiano.
Yes.
Councilman Bonanno.
Yes.
Councilwoman Horoyan. Councilman Andujar.
Yes.
Councilman Ritz.
Yes.
Councilman Trafficante.
Yes.
Council Vice President Wall.
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes. Moving on to public comment for undocketed matters. If anyone in chambers or on Zoom wishes to be heard on any matters that are not on the docket this evening, please state your name and address for the record, and please keep your comments limited to 4 minutes. Do we have anyone in chambers that wishes to be heard on any undocketed matters this evening? Nope. Okay, now moving on to Zoom. Tom, anybody on Zoom?
There is no public comment online.
Thank you. Moving on to election appointment of city officials. We have first up the reappointment of Mario Carlino to the Zoning Board of Review as alternate number 2 for the term July 12 of this year through July 12 of next year. Do I have a motion to reappoint?
Motion to reappoint.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? There being none, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Campopiano.
Yes.
Councilman Bonanno.
Yes.
Councilwoman Horoyan.
Yes.
Councilman Andujar.
No.
Councilman Ritz.
Yes.
Councilman Trafficante.
Yes.
Council Vice President Wall.
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes. Next, we have the reappointment of Regina Spirito to the Public Library Board of Trustees for the term of July 31 of this year through July 31 of 2028. Do I have a motion for that reappointment?
Motion to reappoint.
Second.
Any discussion? Councilman Bonanno?
So my mother's maiden name is Spirito, but I just want to go on the record that there's no known relationship. So there you go. My mother still goes by Spirito, so that's, people might question it. Just tell you right now. I know you were real beat up over it. Yeah.
You're not the only one, Councilman Bonanno, with the name Marino. It's come up more than once as well. Any other discussion from council members? Nope. There being none, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Campopiano.
Yes.
Councilman Bonanno.
Yes.
Councilwoman Horoyan.
Yes.
Councilman Andujar.
Yes.
Councilman Ritz.
Yes.
Councilman Trafficante.
Yes.
Council Vice President Wall.
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes. Next, we have the reappointment of Diane Schaefer to the Public Library Board of Trustees for the term July 31 of this year through July 31, 2028. Do I have a motion for that reappointment?
Motion to reappoint.
Second.
Any discussion? There being none, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Campopiano.
Yes.
Councilman Bonanno.
Yes.
Councilwoman Horoyan.
Yes.
Councilman Andujar.
Yes.
Councilman Ritz.
Yes.
Councilman Trafficante.
Yes.
Council Vice President Wall.
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes. And finally, for reappointments, we have the reappointment of Nancy Vituli to the Arts Commission for the term July 25 of this year through July 25, 28. Do I have a motion for that reappointment?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, I just want to thank Ms. Vituli and at this time, thank all the other members, Mr. Carlino, Ms. Spirito, and Ms. Schaefer also for stepping up and volunteering their time. We very much appreciate it. At this time, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Campopiano.
Yes.
Councilman Bonanno.
Yes.
Councilwoman Horoyan.
Yes.
Councilman Andujar.
Yes.
Councilman Ritz.
Yes.
Councilman Trafficante.
Yes.
Council Vice President Wall.
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes. Next, moving on to executive communications, we have the legal expense report for the period of July 1, 24 through May 27, 25. There's no vote, but does any council member have any discussion or question for the administration? Okay. No, but we have someone from the solicitor's office at least. Any questions, any issues? No? Okay, moving on. Next, we have introduction of new business. I'd ask for the new business matters to be taken as a block.
Motion to take new business as a block.
Second.
Any discussion from council members? No? Okay. Clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Campopiano,
Yes.
Councilman Banano,
Yes.
Councilwoman Horayan, Councilman Andujar,
Yes.
Councilman Ritz, Councilman Trafficante,
Yes.
Council Vice President Wall,
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes. Next, I'll entertain a motion to move the respective matters in the block to their respective committees.
Motion to move the respective matters of the block to their respective committees.
Any discussion? There being none, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilman Campopiano,
Yes.
Councilman Banano,
Yes.
Councilwoman Horayan, Councilman Andujar,
Yes.
Councilman Ritz, Councilman Trafficante,
Yes.
Council Vice President Wall,
Yes.
Council President Marino.
Yes. And much to my surprise, everyone else's, looks like the meeting is adjourned. Do you have a motion to
Motion
adjourn?
to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Ayes have it. Have a good evening.